Hi everybody. In this video, I want to talk about understanding the client's business and its environment. So we know this is a key part to the risk assessment process because we have to understand what's going on within this client so that we can actually audit them. If we don't understand it, how could we possibly audit that? So how do we actually do that? And what does this actually mean? Well, here are a number of items that we need to investigate or understand in order to be able to audit the client. So the first is the industry and regulatory factors. So often if you go to work for a big firm, you might be kind of pigeonholed into a particular industry. So maybe you only do healthcare, or you only do financial services, or you only do manufacturing. So in those cases, you would have a pretty solid understanding of the industry of all of your audit clients. If you work for a smaller firm, you might have a whole host of industries, and therefore you would need to do a little bit more digging to understand specific factors that impact that particular industry that your client is working in. So that's the first piece, is to understand what industry your client works in and what particular individual factors impact those industries. Then we would want to know the nature of the company and related parties. So when we think about the company that we're operating in or the company that we're auditing, what are some kind of idiosyncrasies within that particular industry or within that particular client? So when we're thinking about that nature of the company, so, the company's structure. So who's the president? Who's the vice president? Who reports to who? Who's the managers? So those are some things we might want to know. The sources of their funding. So do they issue bonds? Do they have stock issuances? How are they funding their organization? What sort of investments might they have? How are they making their earnings? What are their products? These are some things that we might want to know relating to the nature of the company. So related parties are going to be individuals or organizations that can influence or be influenced by the company. So maybe family members or investment relationships. If the CEO also has a little pet project on the side, has a little partnership over here, that could be an example of a related party. When we think about the computer system and the accounting principles, well, there might be some similar software. So a lot of companies might use QuickBooks or SAP or Oracle, but some might use their own proprietary software. So we would want to know how these things are recorded, how things get applied, thinking about accounting estimates or accounting principles. What estimates do they use? What methods, if they have multiple options in allowable GAAP methods, which options do they go with? Those are some of the accounting principles that we might want to be aware of. Thinking about their objectives and their strategies. Are there any new developments or expansion programs, maybe new products that they're trying to get to market, new strategies that they're trying to implement, kind of what's going on within their organization. And then when we think about their performance measures, how do they measure success? So are they measuring success only by their bottom line? Are they measuring success by employee satisfaction, by employee turnover? How exactly do they measure their success?